Okay, you are resting. You ended the game on the 3rd of Fumizuki, so you'll be starting the game on the 4th of Fumizuki today. It rained all day yesterday, but it looks as though it should stay dry today. I mean, the ground's drying up quickly, but it looks like it's going to be a sweltering hot day.
Okay. And the job...
that overcast is going to make it rather sticky.
And the job offered was by Uncle, and it was to ferry some stuff down south, is that right?
Yes.
Uncle
is going down to Miyazaki to try to buy some of the goods he's got on order. And he's offered you a job to escort him and his apprentice. Wonshu is heading back to Ohio to try and organise. To Nobeoka to try and organise stuff up there. So he's asked Uncle to pop down to Miyazaki for him. So you have packs, and luckily they're empty, as you kind of are going to be walking on this horribly sticky and sweaty day. Not nice at all.
Stop laying it on so thick.
I'm just mentioning that anybody who happens to be wearing winter clothing is going to be not doing too well.
Oh, and who would that be?
I don't know. Is anybody wearing winter clothing?
No.
Say hi. Ichijō here.
Aha! Ichijō, welcome!
Yes.
Okay, quick little bit of update. In case you didn't watch last week's episode, you are with the party currently in Hanamishisu.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, Wonshu gave you a job to take some goods down to Miyazaki for him, dropping them off at various villages on the way. The journey was relatively peaceful. On the way there, there was a slight misunderstanding at a temple on the way that Kyūryū got involved with.
I wasn't really actually involved now. Come on.
Well, the misunderstanding involved you.
Wait, okay.
Yes? I didn't say you caused it. But anyway, all was sorted out, and you continued on to Miyazaki. Dropped off the goods there, or at least you dropped off the goods after a slight disagreement with some locals who basically wanted you to pay them to let you onto the docks. And the skilled Budoka in the party rushed forward to deal with this problem, and you guarded the apprentice and the packs until 3 of them ganged up on Kinzo and knocked him out. At which point you rushed forward to help, and Judy did. Anyway, you knocked the rest of them out and continued on, delivered the stuff, and then you travelled back through Miyazaki, from Miyazaki back up to Hanamishisu. Miyazaki is the city, a city down in southern Hyuga, so you effectively travelled down the coast, visiting various places on the way. Okay? Now, once you reached Hanamishisu, you spent the evening with Uncle and Wonshu, and had Wonshu popped down to Ohio Castle, and sorry, no, my apologies. You went back to Nobeoka, and then you had several weeks of training, if you wanted them. And I didn't put you down for training because I wasn't sure what you wanted to do. You did spend 1 week fishing and did very, very well. Surprisingly well. I think one day you caught 24 fish. It was amazing.
That is a lot
Made
of
some
fish.
money fishing. They selling fish and made money. I
Oh
think.
yes, you that fed the party for about 3 days, and when you went fishing the following day and caught more fish, you just went and sold them.
Hmm.
Anyway, Wanshu then employed you to said he was going back down to Hanamishisu to visit Ohio Castle, and asked if you wanted to go with him. And the weather had been so bad on the docks, and they'd done so much training. Everybody was bored stiff. You were getting mildew on the mildew on your getter, and so you decided to go with him. Sure enough, it rained all the way there, but you spent the day in Hanamishisu, reacquainting yourselves with your families and just resting up and watching the rain fall while he went to visit Ohio Castle. He came back to the village with good news. He'd actually been given a commission to acquire a fair amount of goods for them. In fact, about £250 weight in goods. So he would like you to assist him in finding them. Well, in actual fact, what's happening is that Uncle is going to be popping down to Miyazaki to see if he can find some of those for goods for Wanshu, but he would like you to come with him for protection on the way and to help carry the stuff. So if you wouldn't mind, and that is what you all agreed to do.
Yep.
Okay.
Wanshu is paying you the princely sum of 4 copper a day each to guard his uncle and provide carrying capacity. And obviously, if you do get in a fight, there'd be a bonus, but I'm sure it won't come to that.
Oh, because Miyazaki's such a friendly place, there's not much chance of us getting in a fight there at all, eh?
Well, you haven't told him you got in a fight, actually. I waited for you to tell him and you didn't. So as far as he knows, everything went perfectly well down there. Okay. So, when dawn breaks on the fourth Fumizuki, then you head off south down the Saikaido. And you are travelling at Uncle's speed, so that is actually only a speed of about 4 because he's a bit elderly and he's not as fast and quick as he used to be. Okay.
Just wondering.
After about what? Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, it still says I've got 15 subdual damage. Is
no, that's all cleared off. Yes.
Okay.
And I've been keeping track of your silver, copper, and your food, etc., and it's been going up and down like a yo-yo. And you're currently carrying about 4 pounds weight in coinage. So you are definitely, you've got a lot of coins on you.
My subdual damage taken should be 0 by now as well, eh?
Yes, your subdual damage goes down to 0. So armor class worn by everybody at the moment is 1, unless you wish to take off your peasant garb and just go down your loincloths. You might get arrested for that, but it'll be a lot more comfortable. No. All right, fine. Okay, so you cross the river, and I'm not even going to bother making you roll for it. After about 1 hex, you deduce that Uncle is not actually going at his full speed. He's just dawdling along. You going to be happy with that?
Well, we're getting paid.
Yeah.
We're getting paid by the day, so.
3, 4, 5,
Yeah, we're all
6.
getting paid by the hour, not by the mile. So.
Okay, fine. You actually make it to Irawa on that first day because Uncle decides he'd like to go for a walk down by the sea, dabble his feet in the sand, etc.
Very nice.
Well, it's slower, but he speeds up a little bit for the last couple of hexes. and he will pay for you to spend a night in the inn, so you don't even need to drop any coinage and any food off, or any pay for that.
Excellent.
He's too good to you, that's what he is. Take him for every penny he's got. He's got a soft spot for you,
Sure.
boys. Okay, can I have wit saving throws from everybody, please?
Sure can. I kind of want to go to Umanasai just so that I can like uncover some hexes. No, not me.
No.
Oh no, I rolled a 4. Sorry. Boom. Let's go.
Kinzo, you were asleep.
Kinzo. Yeah, I rolled a 4. I'm good.
Was that a successful wit saving throw?
I believe it is. Let me double check. Wit.
I believe it probably is.
Base saving throw is 5. Yes.
Okay. You do notice Uncle is off with the innkeeper having quiet conversations and making sure you lot are out of earshot. You can't hear what they're saying, but it's you do know he's talking to him, and they're obviously having a private conversation.
Gonna attempt to listen in.
Okay. Make a speed saving throw.
Ooh, I'm good at speed. Ha! Come on.
Fine. Okay. You manage to sneak close enough to that you think you should be able to hear. Another wit saving throw.
Oh, I'm not so good at this one. Nah.
Well, you thought you were close enough to hear, but you can't quite make out what they're saying. You can't understand what they're saying. Do you want to try getting a bit closer still?
Is that a speed saving throw?
Another speed saving throw.
Yeah, let's go for it. Oh, I think that's good. Let me check.
Okay.
Yes, space saving throw 8.
That is good enough to get closer, and you don't even need to roll your wit saving throw. You can't understand what they're saying.
Oh, they're using another language.
Could be. It's certainly not Nipponese.
Okay, any chance at understanding why it might be?
And fair enough.
So, can I even tell if it's like a totally foreign language or they're just using lots of slang words, kind of thing? Can I tell?
It seems to be repetitive. They appear to be moving things on the table, and let's see, what other skills have you got? Kyūryū. Okay. Roll a d20, please.
Four.
Okay. You don't know for certain, but it looks like the moves on a Go board.
I think what goes like a chess game, right?
It's not chess so much as capture areas.
Yeah, it's
And
more
capture tokens.
But it's military.
It's deemed more military than chess, certainly.
Yeah. Okay.
So it could be that they're using some sort of shorthand for that.
I'm returning to the party, to the group, and I'm going to tell them
Okay.
they're making some sort of military plans. I'm whispering this to the group, of course.
Can I have wit saving throws from the other three?
Oh,
And one from Kinzo. You have actually woken up.
hey.
Ah!
Oh, you weren't asleep. You were actually listening carefully.
Well, you were actually watching this maniac who goes around murdering people, because you watched him move over towards Uncle. You saw him moving over to that corner. You saw Uncle and the innkeeper talking, and you saw him kind of sliding along a bench towards them and stopping. And you saw the innkeeper look over Uncle's shoulder and obviously see Kyūryū. And then Kyūryū slid closer still. So whatever, if Kyūryū was trying to be sneaky, they obviously spotted him. Okay, make of that what you will.
He's just nosy, that's what he is.
Might be worth keeping our eyes open though. If you see anything else peculiar.
Are you telling them what you heard and saw?
Absolutely,
Kyūryū?
yeah. I trust these boys with my life. I tell them everything. I'm telling them exactly what I saw.
Okay. So what he saw, what he heard, he couldn't quite make out what he heard. So he slid a bit closer, and they seemed to be talking some sort of language he didn't understand. And he had actually heard it before, but because he couldn't understand it, he thought he couldn't make it out. When he got closer, it was obvious. Yes, he made it out correctly. He just didn't understand it. But the movements they were making on the table between them, he thought were reminiscent of those on a Go board. So it might be something to do with shorthand for Go movements, but whatever it is, he didn't understand the language.
Strategic movement of people or goods, but people, I think, is the one that springs to mind, like military movements.
What the rest of you think about that, I don't know.
I think it's a good idea if we keep our noses out of his business.
Might be worth keep an eye on it if we can. Just 'cause we
I'm keeping
don't
an
get
eye on
into
it.
serious trouble.
You better believe I'm keeping an eye on it.
So
Yeah,
a
but
small amount of trouble is no problem at all, but serious trouble, yes, probably not good.
Well, you are all aware that Uncle is only moving about 2/3 of what he can do.
yeah, I know it's not going as fast as he has in the past, but
Yeah, it's been sus.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
he
on-
might have forgotten that he took us to Ohio Castle. That is, well, what I assume is his full speed, which is almost as fast as I can move.
Yes, but then it is a very hot and sticky day today, and obviously you didn't feel like overexerting himself.
That's what you say. But if he's paying, so he can move at whatever speed he likes, as long as it's not faster than I can go.
Well, he's not paying. One shoe's paying. So it's not his money that's being spent.
Oh, that would explain it then, wouldn't it?
That could explain it, yes.
He's trying to do a competitor out of business.
What? His nephew? Competitor?
Put a competitor out of business, sorry. Well, he's another merchant. He must be a competitor.
No, he's his nephew. He's got a soft spot for him. Just like you boys.
That's why he pays us 2 copper a day.
Well, it's the local rates, you know. I mean, the big city rates are much higher there.
Which big city's that then?
Yeah, point us in the direction of the
You just spent the last few months up there. I mean, compared with Nobeoka, I mean, he's got to work with what he's got available. Nobeoka's only Hanamishizu is only a kind of tiny little fishing village. Anyway. Alright, the following morning dawns, still mostly overcast. Slightly cooler night. So it might actually be a slightly better day today. But unfortunately, looking at the clouds, you think it's probably going to get rained on. You're going to get rained on during the day somehow. Okay, traveling south from Irawa. You actually stop off at the Umeda Shrine, and Uncle nips in and says a few prayers and deposits some copper. And then you stop for lunch in Ichijō.
The shrine, Dave, who's it to?
1 second. Let me just call up.
Are we adding 4 copper every day? So I should have 4 for yesterday.
No, you'll get paid on at the end
Okay.
when you see Wonshu again, because he's
yeah,
paying
yeah,
you,
yeah, right enough.
not Uncle.
Nice try.
Just be grateful that you're not actually. The Umeda Shrine is actually only a local shrine. It's to one of the local kami. It's not even got a priest there. But Uncle seems to think that he's had good luck every time he leaves a gift there. Okay.
Okay.
And you stop for lunch at Ichijō before crossing
I wonder if he's just left some. I may be being over suspicious here, but I wonder if he's just left a message for somebody.
Hey, no, I like the way you're thinking.
You didn't go into the shrine with him.
No, we didn't go to the shrine. No. I wonder if he's also slowing down because he wants someone to either catch up with us or be able to follow us. Maybe I'm just being paranoid.
Let's go leave a penny.
Paranoid players. I don't know what you mean. Okay, you stop for lunch at Ichijō, and yes, now that you know what you're looking for, he does spend a few minutes talking to the innkeeper, and coins change hands, and you actually have sake with your lunch.
Nice.
It's reasonably good quality sake as well. The innkeeper will join you and talk about the commercial outlook for the area and what the local lord's been doing up at Ema Castle, etc., etc. It sounds like he's gathering commercial information. After lunch, you head across the Ichimi River, and I will just reveal some more area for you.
It's one of my favourite when you've got a blank map and you're filling it in as you travel it. It's one of my favourite things in an RPG.
And you actually visit 2 more villages. You pass through. Let me just open that up. I need to find the full map with all the names on. 1 second. And I will tell you what that is. Sonotoki village. In actual fact, I'll write it in. Why has it come up as black? I don't know. Well, let's change it to yellow.
Because it's a village full of ninja.
Oh, ye of little faith. Would an uncle lead you into that sort of danger?
Well, he might not know. That's the whole point.
True. Okay, so you travel through Sonotoki and you stop for the night in Matanochi village.
Are we going to cross the river here?
Well, you'll be crossing the river, the Tsuna River at Matanochi, yes. And then get to Ikagetsu and Miyazaki tomorrow, yes. But you're staying the night in Matanochi.
Is he paying for the inn again?
Yes.
It's alright, Dave. The way I keep track of it is I don't keep divvying up the copper. I just keep track of how many days we've had and what we've done on it.
Yes. Okay. The peaceful night is had again. The inn seems quiet. The following day, it's another hot night. Overcast again. When you get up, it's already sweltering, and it's just going to get hotter. Thank God you haven't got anything in your packs. So you travel along the country roads to Ikagetsu, rejoin the Saikaido, and reach the riverbanks to the north of Miyazaki. Uncle has you wait while he has a chat with the boatman, and then you're all ushered aboard, and he takes you across the river. And at the far side of the river, you go through the southern Hyuga customs point. Uncle proffers his documents, and how good-natured is everybody today? Oh, no problem at all. You slide through customs without a problem. So you're in Miyazaki. Let's see, so that's 1, 2, so that's 3, 4. Early afternoon. So Uncle will lead you to the artisans district and visit a couple of weaponsmiths. Right. So okay. So the first weaponsmith doesn't have what he's looking for. The second weaponsmith does. So he will ask you to just sit outside and wait while he does a little bit of bargaining. The weaponsmith's boy offers to bring you out some tea. Or would you rather have cold water on a day like this? You can sit in the shade, no problem, but it's still very hot and sticky.
I'll take tea.
Okie doke.
Bless you.
Thank you. Tea would be fine.
Okay. Could I have wit saving throws from everybody sitting outside drinking tea? Or not drinking tea?
I'll stick to the water, I think.
Okay.
You brave man, you.
Yes, I made it. Made the wit saving throw.
Okay, Kyūryū and Kosa. You do notice a number of people skulking around looking at merchandise, but obviously keeping an eye on you. Well, not obviously, but you noticed them.
Any idea on how many?
There's about, now that you look around, Kyūryū actually, on a 1, Kyūryū spotted precisely how many. You reckon there's 3 in sight, and 1 popped off earlier. So there was a 4th, but he disappeared.
Okay.
Well,
And thinking back, Kyūryū, you saw one of them at the city gate lounging around.
I'll say that to whoever didn't notice.
Yeah, alert the others that we might be getting some trouble
I'll
soon.
tell them one guy was there, one guy I saw. I'll tell them all the exact details since I wrote that one.
Yeah, he's obviously gone to report.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. You didn't actually recognise any of them, but that's not to say that they didn't recognise you.
I did recognise one as in I saw him before though.
No, you didn't recognise any of them from your previous visit to Miyazaki.
All right, okay, but I recognise seeing one of them at the gate and then here.
But you remembered on a 1 when you realised that there were 4 of them keeping an eye on you. You remembered seeing one of them at the gate, and then you saw one of the 4 disappear off. Okay. So when the others noticed, there were only 3 there.
All right. I will go and knock on the shop door, or if it's closed or whatever.
Okay, the apprentice will kind of come to the doorway. I mean, the door is open for people to go in for business, but Uncle and the master are out, are in the back of the shop talking and arguing and bargaining.
Yeah, I'll ask the apprentice if he could go and ask Uncle to come to the door. I need to have a quick word with him.
Okay. He will bow politely and head off. And okay, now while you've been doing this, we have a roll for Uncle. Oh no! No! A roll for the shopkeeper. Well, Uncle has actually finished his business. He's buying kind of most of the stock, all the stock the shopkeeper has, because there's going to be no call for it here, because obviously everything's going to be peaceful. So he's buying every spear that the shop's got.
Aye. Okay.
Real ones, real spears, or
Yari.
blunt one.
Real Yari. So
Yari.
what I was thinking of before about masses of people and movements and military, like that just ties right in, doesn't it? What is he organising? There's a war happening that we don't know about, and he's part of setting it up.
Okay, the number of Yari that are available are actually let's just quickly roll this. 11. And Yari weigh 10 pounds each, so there's 110 pounds to carry.
Okay.
So you may want to do some quick divvying up between you. So Uncle has actually finished his business already, even before finishing the first cup of sake. So he looks very pleased with himself.
Yeah. Well, when I get
So he arrives at the door. Yes, what is it, Kosa?
We have spotted some locals have taken an interest in your business. So we might be getting some trouble soon.
He raises an eyebrow. Well, in that case, those 11 spears over there, grab them and let's head for the gate.
Okay.
Okay. I'll pick up a couple of spears.
Yeah, we've got how many? 4 of us, isn't there?
There's you've actually got Uncle's one shoe's apprentice along, Uncle's apprentice along, who he brought along and who's he's open mouthed. I mean, what he saw in there shouldn't have been done to anybody, but Uncle he was perfect. He's in awe of his master.
Ask the apprentice, can you carry 2 of these spears?
He's only a young apprentice. He could carry 1. He doesn't think he could carry 2.
Uncle, are you prepared to carry 1 of these spears?
Oh, all right, no trouble. I'll get 1 shoe to cut your rates. I thought you said you could carry all this lot.
Well, we might be able to, but let's just divvy it up first.
Okay.
Then
Basically, there are 110 pounds weight in spears.
Right, then the rest of us will carry 2.
Mm-hmm.
Ichijō, being the strongest of us, I believe, he can carry 3.
Okay. So if you would each add 20 pounds of 2 Yari weighing 20 pounds, or 3 Yari in your case, Ichijō.
Okay. Give me 1 sec.
These are not ready for use, by the way. They are the heads are wrapped to prevent corrosion, etc. So they're in oilcloth.
You can still stick somebody with them.
That's hardly the right attitude.
Well, use a spear, so it's not going to bother me. So.
Where do I find Yari? With your weapons.
It's on weapons. If you in your weapons section, if you just click the drop down at the bottom, you should find Yari, and then just add 2 and put them in own baggage. And put an X in the own baggage slot when you've put 2 in the number.
Right. I mean, I'm currently partially as Ichijō.
No, it's not. It's not close in sheath for you. It's in your own baggage.
Oh.
Kyūryū.
Yeah, my bad, sorry.
Yeah, well,
So you can drop them if you need to find them.
we'll all be partially encumbered.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
But if we get into a fight, we'll just have to drop the spears.
Where's the encumbrance?
The encumbrance is at the top above your equipment. The status, you've got status. So if you look at your status at the moment, Kyūryū, you're currently carrying 38 pounds, and you're unencumbered.
Come on. Show you what real strength is all about, boys.
Yes. Okie doke. So at the present movement, the party speed is base movement allowance of 4. So you're not moving that fast at the moment. Uncle isn't, and his apprentice aren't too badly off, but they're partially encumbered. Sorry, I think the apprentice is partially encumbered as well. Let me just check. Yes, because he's carrying Uncle's stuff as well. Never mind. So he can be pushed to move at 4 as well. Righty ho. So you head for the gate.
Yeah, look, we're sticking around very long at all.
Are you going to attempt to deal with the local spies or not before you go, or are you just going to head for the gate?
Well, if we're going to get to fight them without getting in trouble with the local police, then yes.
That is a potential problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you attack them, you know, causing a disturbance.
Yeah, see, I feel like if there was no consequences of beating them up, I'm all for it.
Well, unfortunately, there are likely to be consequences.
Yes.
This is the business district.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, you head for the gate.
Can we lure them out to somewhere quieter, maybe? What do you think, boys?
Can Uncle take us via another route to the gate, rather than the obvious route? Try and throw these guys off. Or is it,
he doesn't actually know a quicker route. He knows another route, but it's not. It's longer. And to be honest, if these are locals, they probably know the routes better than he does.
Okay, fair enough. We'll stick to
And
the
if there's 3 of them, then there's going to be at least 2 of them following us. And sure enough, when you start heading for the gate, one of them disappears off to follow you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
How about this longer route? Does it take us anywhere that is potentially more quiet?
But
Yeah,
that
I'd
would
sooner
suit
not get-
that would suit them as well as us. If
Yeah, I don't want to get stuck somewhere where we don't know where we are.
I don't know why they're targeting me, he says.
I don't mind.
Does mean that if we are having
I've always been a good customer down here.
I don't mind getting in a fight with them if it's somewhere quiet.
Okay,
Well,
can I have
if it is somewhere more quiet, then we won't get into trouble with the police, more likely.
can I have a luck roll from you, please?
We'll be fine, as long as it's those who are...
Somebody roll 3d6. 1's a bad luck, 6 is a good luck.
Okay, here we are.
Come on.
Okay.
Oh. Oh. Which one are you taking? The first one?
Kinzo. I'm taking the first roll,
Fair enough. Okay.
which is. Well, no, the first roll is Kyūryū's, which is 1 bad luck.
Yep.
Okay, so in that case, you are 2 streets from the gate when you see 2 guys ahead of you as well. Uncle is walking forwards, and these 2 step into his path. Not so fast, old man.
Oh, aye.
What? He says, scratching his ear. What are you 2 getting in my way for? I'm an honest merchant. I don't pay your kind of rip-off tolls, etc. on the street just because you fancy stopping whoever you see. Guards! Guards! He calls out. They look at each other and kind of step to one side. And let him past. And then one of them steps in front of Kinzo. Kinzo, you recognize him. You remember the guy you knocked out with the Irizumi? This is the guy. He looks rather badly bruised.
Come for a second bite, have you?
You visit our city again. You pay the tariff, or there'll be trouble. Capiche?
Well, you talk to our employer, the guy you've just let by.
Yeah, well,
I understand, and if you want to meet somewhere where we can settle this like men, then just name the date and place.
come down to the docks when you're ready for a proper lesson.
I'll be there as soon as I can. Now,
He
excuse
steps
me.
back, nods, and then looks at each of the rest of you in turn, glares at the apprentice who's bringing up the rear, dragging the butt of the spear behind him. The apprentice steps to the other side of the road, then hurries on.
Just a matter of interest, sir. I speak to the Yakuza.
Raises an eyebrow at you.
Which gang do you belong to?
Come to the docks and we'll tell you. In fact, probably brand it into you as a warning.
I see. Oh, it's going to be like that, is it? Okay. Well, we'll see you in a bit.
He walks off back down into the city, and the two behind you fade into the background as well, and you make it safely to the gate.
Pussies.
Okay. Passing through the gate, there's a bit more trouble because you're you're carrying 11 spears between you, and Uncle has to produce the documentation and. Oh God. He doesn't even need to give them a bribe. Okay, right. He's let out. One of the guards takes him to the customs post and gets him stamped out. And you head for the river, and it's going to. You will all get into one of the ferries, but there's not going to be any room for any other passengers. So Uncle will do a quick dicker with the boatman. Not too bad, and gets a reasonable rate for crossing. and you cross the river and make it back to Ikagetsu for nightfall.
So when do we go to the docks in Miyazaki?
So you return to Ikagetsu.
The next time we're down here.
Okay, and you stop for the night in Ikagetsu. And Uncle asked you quite what the story is. They obviously knew you.
Well, Uncle, the last time we were down here, they asked us to pay a toll, which we didn't want to pay. And when we refused in very impolite language, they attacked us, so we knocked them all out.
Taught them a lesson.
Oh dear. You know, there are certain facilities we have to pay for in places like Miyazaki. You know, they're not as civilized as Nobeoka.
Yeah, well, that might be, but they didn't ask. They just demanded, and we didn't feel like giving it to them.
Did you tell them who you were working for? You know, as merchants sometimes get a bit of relief on fees.
Well, we had the apprentice of one of the local merchants with us, but he was as much use as a wet paper bag.
He was actually the apprentice of the local merchant rather than the bloke who you were working
That's what
for.
I said.
Yes. No, but you weren't working for him, were you? I said, did you tell him who you were working for?
Well, at the time, Uncle, we were working for him because he'd instructed us to take the goods to the docks. Fully well knowing that we would probably get set on. He also tried to keep one shoe's packs without paying for them.
Mm-hmm.
I can see I'm going to have a word with some people, he says.
No, it's all right.
Long-suffering look.
So, Uncle, we will deal with the problem when we're back in Miyazaki. We have a job to finish, and this will.
Yes, but there's ways and there's ways. You know, some ways mean that the climate for future commerce remains good. Other ways, there could be more friction.
Oh, there'll be a lot more friction.
Puts his head in his hands.
Smiles.
Right. Well, let's get back to Nobeoka.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
But we will keep an eye out for Yakuza and his mates chasing us because they want to have a fight.
Well, I trust not.
Oh, I think.
What? It was a Yakuza?
The man I was talking to, yes.
Oh, I didn't see any Irizumi.
Well, we didn't.
Oh, he did have his sleeves on, I suppose.
We didn't see any till we knocked him out, and we were searching him for his loot.
I'm sorry, you knocked him out, and then you robbed him.
Yeah, you have to knock somebody out first before you rob them, otherwise they get a chance to run away.
No, it's not robbing. His possessions became ours because he lost.
Truly civilized behaviour in a town like that, they rob you without knocking you out. Okay?
Yes, they do.
So they will probably regard you as being entirely uncivilized.
Well, they thought we were uncivilized because we come from the north of the province anyway. So we were just confirming what they thought.
They tried to mug us, so we mugged them.
Oh, they'll come up with any excuse for that sort of.
I
Either
agree,
it's a
Duncan.
toll, or it's or it's you're doing them out of work. It's
Anyway, Uncle, the problem is not yours.
Well, it is if you're going to be doing any work for myself or One Shoe down there, because if we give you money to go and buy stuff and then you get beaten up and robbed, it's lost.
Yeah, well, that would be our problem and not yours.
Well, if you're acting for us, then it'll be our investment astray.
Indeed.
No one's going to beat us up and rob us. That's the opposite of what happened. Somebody attempted to, and they got beat up. So you don't have to worry about it with us. We are hard.
Right. So you're looking for a more active role than just merely being porters, am I right?
Well, I did tell you that some months ago. Sorry, I asked you about that some months ago.
Yes, but we didn't have any work for that sort of thing. By the sounds of it, we're going to have a lot of work for that sort of person in Miyazaki going forwards. Are you in some sort of job creation scheme, my boy?
It would appear so, Uncle.
Very good. Well, we can talk about it on the way north, right? Right.
If you must.
Well, we can talk about it when we get north, let's put it that way. It's probably better for my ulcer if we don't.
I'm sorry about your ulcer, Uncle. I didn't mean to upset it.
Well, I didn't have one until we left Miyazaki.
I shall laugh at that.
Yes, he is obviously being humorous. Okay, the following day, you head off up the Saikaido without taking any diversions. So 1, 2, you cross the Tsuna River. It is the 7 Fumizuki, and it's hot but not sweltering.
Isn't it the 6th?
No. On the 6th, you travelled to Miyazaki, bought your spears, had the disagreement, and then returned to Ichijō.
6th this year, see it.
So you travel up to the Spirit of Art Shrine, and Uncle asks you to look after his spear while he pops in and leaves an offering. And
Attempt to see if he's got anything hidden in his hand.
okay. Are you going to go into the shrine with him, or just watch him go in?
I'm just going to watch his hands when he goes in.
Okay, in that case, roll a wit saving throw.
Nice.
Well
No,
done.
he does not appear to be carrying anything in his hands apart from a silver coin.
A silver coin.
A silver coin. This is another of the local kami shrine, so there's no priest present. But he pops in, leaves a coin, and returns, picks up his spear, and proceeds on. So you are going to be travelling up to 8 on the Saikaido. So that's 1, 2 for cross. 1, 2, 3.
Are you
4,
going to reveal
5.
these hexes?
Sorry, each of these hexes is one. Is
I was saying, are you going
a
to reveal those hexes? The black ones.
No, because you haven't been into you are travelling on the side,
Okay.
so you can see a certain distance either side of the road.
Oh, we've got mystery bits. I want to see.
Well, you're not exploring. You are just travelling on the Saikaido. You stop at Ima Castle. And again, you have no trouble with the. They're not as they're not as keen to see you go through quickly, but you have no trouble with the customs. You have all the appropriate paperwork, so you'll stop there for an hour, so you can get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you'd be camping out if you cross the river, so he will actually stay the night in Hayo. but he has all his paperwork ready for crossing tomorrow. The following day, it's again overcast, but... Sorry, no, it's actually clear skies at the moment. My apologies. But the sun is beating down pretty badly. It is going to be another hot, sweltering day. So that's 1, 2,
In that case, I'll wear my rain hat to keep the sun off.
5, 6, 7, and you will stop for the night in Kanjimasu, and the temperature went over 30 today, so you are all
Nice.
glad to see the end of the day. You were stopped on the road by one party of troops.
Troops.
You are actually stopped, and your paperwork is gone over with a fine tooth comb. So you can't actually travel farther than Kanjimasu. You're pushing it to make it to Kanjimasu by nightfall. But they let you through. Okay. Right, so the next day, which is 9 Fumizuki, you travel to Ohio Castle, and you're actually stuck there for several hours because Uncle has the paperwork that they gave to Wonshu, and he has to go over in kind of excruciating detail the relationship, the letter from Wonshu authorizing him to do this in his place down in Miyazaki, the fact that he's got about 40% of the order here, and do they want Wonshu to get it for delivery in Nobeoka or not, blah 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 blah, and costs him 4 silver in bribes to get through.
Oof.
Yeah, quite. They were not happy to see him doing what they'd given Wonshu the job to do. Okay, so that uses up half the day, so you actually only make it to Hanamisha by nightfall. And Uncle's glad to get there. God dear. He gives his opinion on uppity Ashigaru. He's not happy with what's gone on there. He's going to have a word with Wonshu about it. See whether they can't get somebody in trouble. If they have that every time that they try getting anything up and down the road, it's going to take all the profit out of it. Honestly, people don't understand business. 10 Fumizuki, clear skies again. So let's get to Nobeoka quickly. Uncle is keen to travel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, you're pushing it hard, but you make it to Nobeoka just before they close the gates. So you're footsore, travel-stained, weary by the time you make it to Wonshu's place on the docks. Boy, are you all glad to get there. Poor old Uncle's apprentice is really dragging. He's kaput. He kind of makes it to Wonshu's place and just collapses. One of you is going to have to bring his spear in.
So I'll do that.
Okay.
And then thank you for keeping up with us.
I was keeping up with Master Uncle. Well, I couldn't let him down. Okay. Wonshu is impressed. 11 spears? Well, he's managed to get 4 in town. He's had to send off. He's gonna have to send off and try and get some more. But that's basically 15 out of the 25 he's got the order for. He's going to pop and see the daimyo's rep here to see whether or not they want him to try and get some more for them. Uncle inquires why the daimyo's looking for so many spears, Oliver. Well, make sure the door's shut. Rumour is there was a surprise inspection in one of his warehouses, and some of his spears weren't what they were supposed to be. They were inferior quality. The Hatamoto in charge of the warehouse is in all sorts of trouble. Either he bought cheap, inferior stuff, in which case what's he done with the rest of the coin, or somebody broke into the warehouse and switched them out. It's a real scandal. So I think the order came from a castle so that it wouldn't show up as the problem being here in Nobeoka. But since I've got 40% of the order for Ohio already. Well, no, I've got 60% of the order for Ohio already. I think I can get my hands on some spears from the next province up. So I'll get them delivered to the dock. I'll see whether or not the local armourer is interested in buying some foreign ones, and then he could possibly sell them onto the daimyo. So I'll pop into town tomorrow and do it. Okay. Are you lads staying here for a week or two? He says, pulling out his.
Well, we'd
bag?
actually quite like paying for the job we just finished,
Well,
please.
that's why he's pulling out his
Yes.
bag of coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, 8 days. So that's 32 each, which he'll round up to 40 each because he's so pleased with Uncle doing so well. So that's 40 copper each.
Thank you.
Uncle will mention that there's been a bit of a problem in Miyazaki. Apparently, that last load you sent them down with, they got in a bit of a barney with some of the local ruffians and beat them up and robbed them. Onshu looks aghast. What? Robbed them? Robbed the robbers? Then he bursts out laughing.
Yeah, apparently they're not happy.
Bows politely to you and says, "Well, congratulations. It's not often somebody robs the robbers." But it's going to make life a bit difficult down there for us in the future, he says.
What's Uncle or Onshu's best money exchange rate if I wanted to turn coppers into silver?
They'll exchange them at the rate of 1 copper per silver that they exchange.
So 31 copper gets you a silver.
31 copper to the silver,
Right, okay, I'm gonna give...
which is a good rate.
Okay, so I'm gonna give 93 copper and get 3 silver back then.
Okay.
Okay.
Monshu's grateful to get those coppers back. He was running a bit short, paying you lot. You don't think he's being serious? Right. So he's going to pop in and see the local armourer tomorrow. Are you lads looking for some work on the docks for a few days?
Well, is there anywhere around here we can do training?
Well, the training week started today, unfortunately. There's some. Well, most of the next week is Buddhist festivals, apparently. It's the autumn equinox.
I'll take the rest of the week as work on the docks.
Yeah, if there's not going to be a
Yeah,
chance
do
to
some
train.
work.
Yeah, might as well.
Okie doke. In that case, let me just check and see what work is available. Right. So he's got some work you can do for him in about 3 days, but he'll check tomorrow to see what work's available. All right?
Yep. Okay.
Also, am I mistaken? Aren't we on the 10th today? So the training week starts tomorrow, the 11th.
Nope. On the 7th, you travel to Hyo. You couldn't get beyond Hyo because you were dealing with the people at the castle. The next day, you travelled to Kanjimasu. Then you travelled to Ohio Castle, and you lost half the day there, so you only got as far as.
Hanamichi.
My apologies.
We got to
Yes, my
Hanamichi, sir.
apologies. I
Well,
have
well-
made a mistake. I put travel to
you
Hanamichi
get there-
twice on the diary. You get there on day 10,
Late.
Mizuki. So yes, you could go
Late on day
training.
10, aren't we?
Yes.
Is there
So
anything interesting available then?
Does is one shoe going to need us anytime soon?
They asked if we're sticking around for a couple of weeks, didn't
that depends on the story he gets from the armourer tomorrow. If the armourer's interested in in him providing additional spears, he's sending off to a contact he's got to the north to see if he can get spears from one of the cities up there. So if that works out okay, then yes, he could use you to do that job. You could basically travel on the ship and just act as guardians for the merchandise. He'll send Uncle up with you to buy the things. Uncle shakes his head. What? Look, son. Look, nephew. I've got work to do back in Hanamishisu, and I can't be tramping all over for this. I know it's lucrative. I mean, look what I did for you already, my boy. 11 spears. Those don't grow on trees, And the rate I got them for you, perfect. So, tell you what, they can take my apprentice. He's a good lad. He knows his stuff. He's not great at carrying things. I saw you were dragging there, boy, but he does know his stuff. He's a good merchant. And if it's your contact, he's going to know not to jip him. Yeah. Monshu looks a bit dubious at this, but well, look, what's the worst could happen? You might pay a bit over the odds. Well, you were under the odds here, so. And anyway, who's going to be paying for them? Daimyo. If you're going to talk to the armor about getting extra spears, you can charge more for them, can't you, my boy? Do I have to teach you everything? There's a bit of an argument between the two of them, and basically, one shoe agrees. All right, fine. It's his captain. It's his ship, so he's not worried about the ship itself. It's just dealing with the merchant at the other end. So he's quite happy for you to. If you're happy to go, 4 copper a day. No.
Yeah.
You did good. You did good protecting Uncle. Okay, you got him in deep stuck in Miyazaki, so please, bit more restraint in future. 5 copper a day. Okay?
Okie dokie.
Okay, I'll go.
You're good lads, says Uncle.
Mhm.
Bit light on the trigger maybe, but good lads. Doesn't use light on the trigger because they don't have guns there,
Triggers.
but you know what I mean.
We have a very short fuse, is what you're saying.
No, because it's only ninja who do that.
Is there anything worth training?
Okay.
If not, I'll go
let's
the
see.
trip, like, but only if there's something physical, because I've got that 21.9.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my speed's 21.9. One more training on anything physical, and I've got an increased stat.
Okay, so you're
Yeah, you
entering. You're entering the second week of Fumizuki, and what is available on in that week? Second. Okay. Oddly enough, the temples aren't teaching very much next week. Could be to do with the almost continuous Buddhist festival. There is one temple teaching Karma Yoga, and the rest are teaching Butsudo, but that's it.
Okay, I'll go.
Equally,
Oh.
the Shinto shrines aren't teaching much either, because they also celebrate the equinox, even though they only have one day of proper festival. The Danjiri Matsuri is prayers to the Kami Inari for a bountiful harvest. So everybody does that. And in the schools, the Flower of Hyuga School is teaching calligraphy and how to play the Hichiriki, which is one of the musical instruments of Nippon. The Rice Harvest School is teaching Bajutsu and Jitjutsu. The Art of Go is teaching poetry and herbalism. At the Moving Wave School, they're teaching Atemiwaza, Karubijutsu, and Saite. And finally, at the dawn of time, Hiragana is being taught.
Atemiwaza is one of mine.
So, who would like to get some training? Don't forget, you can also go to one of the schools and ask one of the class masters to teach another skill in that week, if you can persuade them to do so.
What is Atemiwaza for the 19th?
Atemiwaza is the martial arts equivalent of karate. In these times.
Okay, so I could be rolling attacks with that as well, couldn't I?
Your Atemiwaza actually does more damage.
Yeah.
Because you get to add your level. And if you use a Yawara, you then add another +2.
Yeah, I'm looking at my character sheet, like, I'm using my character all wrong. I've got way better hits with Atemiwaza and using the other weapon.
Yes, but you like murdering people with your nunchaku.
Not murdering.
Well, you don't like getting blood on your hands. That's obviously what it is.
Even if you already killed one person.
It was an accident.
Okay, so does anybody wish to take training?
No thanks.
Are there any schools left that
actually-
I can actually go to?
I will, Dave. Actually, I will try and get into the Atemiwaza class.
I'm going to do Atemiwaza.
Well, there's no problem getting it into the Atemiwaza class. There are
Okay.
places available.
Okay.
Okay, you upset them in the Flower of Hyuga in the right school last time. So let me just double check. Okay, neither of the masters at the... One of the masters at the Flower of Hyuga you upset last time, but the other one you didn't. So you could try and persuade him to teach you something. And neither of the people teaching this week in the Rice Harvest School are ones that you upset. So that's the martial school, so you may be able to persuade one of them to teach you what you want.
Did you say it was Moving Wave that was teaching Atemiwaza?
Moving Wave is teaching Atemiwaza.
Yeah, I'll go there.
Oh, good. That's my regular school.
Me too.
Of course.
I mean, whoever's able to train in Kenjutsu, then.
Okay, so at the... Let me just look at the Rice Harvest School. Okay, so the Rice Harvest School is... to Fumizuki, so it's Imagawa, and Ijuin. So Imagawa and Ijuin in Kenjutsu. Neither of them are masters, but both of them. And you are fully literate in katakana, and they have a teaching scroll.
I was going to ask if it was Torimonos. Torimono's the right word. I remembered one, didn't I?
Yes, the Torimono, the teaching
I remembered
scroll.
one.
Okay, so you need to persuade one of those teachers to teach you how to do Kenjutsu, teach you Kenjutsu at the same time as they're teaching the other class. So, Ichijō. Your status, you do not have any status in those schools, so basically you're going to have to roll against just a d20. You've got a plus 6 because the teacher is already teaching and you're an extra pupil, so you'd need to roll 6 or less. You can pay extra to try and get him to take you, +1 per silver piece, but there's a limit to how many he's willing to accept before it becomes overt bribery.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try it at 6.
Okay, so you actually get 2 rolls because there's 2 teachers. So go for it. Oh, so close.
No, it's I rolled 2 different ones, 1 4 and 1 3.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I just looked at the final result. So both of them would have been willing to teach you. Okay, so you obviously impressed them with your verbal skills. So you are going to be taking Kenjutsu for a week, and let me just work out what that gives you. So Kenjutsu, greater than you, it is bonus for you, and there is a usable Torimono. Jolly good. So that gives you okay, so that gives you a bonus of +4 on your learning rate. Okay, so your learning rate is 2, so that would give you 6% increase. However, because you're already over 60%, you only get a 3% increase. So it goes up to 68.5.
So 68.5.
68.5. Unfortunately, that doesn't increase your BCS yet. You need to get it to 7. And because it doesn't increase your BCS, you don't get any increase on your physical characteristics yet. Okay?
Yeah.
But you're chipping away at it. It takes time. Better on than off. Right, and then we're talking about the Moving Wave School.
How much did that cost him, Dave?
Oh, sorry, my apologies. That was 4 silver pennies.
Alright.
Or 4 silver pieces, rather. And as far as the Moving Wave School is concerned, 2 for Mizuki. The Atemiwaza class is being taught by Matsudaira, who is a master. So, how do our pupils do in Atemiwaza?
How do you say his name? Master Matsu?
Matsudaira.
Okay.
Matsudaira. Okay, now, how are they for Torimono in Atemiwaza? They have a Torimono written in katakana up to 88%. So if you have less than 88, it will take you up to that.
Yeah.
And I believe both of you are currently less than 88,
Yep.
correct?
Yes, we are indeed.
Well, I
In
am.
that case, congratulations. The 2 of you will each gain +5 on your learning rate.
Halved.
halved for
Being over 60.
both of you. So that's, I think,
3.5.
3.5. Which I believe isn't a BCS increase for Kosa,
No.
but is a BCS increase for
Okay,
Kyūryū.
a point of status for the moving wave.
And then each of you get a point of status at that particular school.
Did you
So
say
you add
3.5 will go up on my permanent?
3.5, so it goes up to 75.
Wee-hee. The final BCS did go up, and I get how much status?
0.05 to add to your one of your mental character. One of your physical characteristics. Sorry, no, 0.1 to add
Is
to one
it?
of your physical
Yes.
characteristics. So your speed goes up to 22.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Okay.
And each of you gets 1 point of earned status in that school. So put your earned status up by 1. Ichijō, you actually get to start status in the rice harvest school. So under group, if you type in rice harvest, you become a member, and you earn 1 point of status in it.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, and the rice harvest school is that is a 0.4.
What did that cost us, Dave?
And that cost you 5 silver.
Okay.
Because you were being taught by a master. Always handy to have a master around, isn't it? Okie doke. So let me just write that, note that down. You sure you don't want to do some training, Kinzo?
No, but since it cost me about 2.5 months' income to train. I don't know where these guys got all this money from, because I don't have that sort of money.
Well, obviously they had rich parents.
If I remember correctly, don't you roll start in wealth? And I think that's the
You
one,
do
I
indeed.
think that's the one roll that I aced.
Yeah. Yes.
No, it's quite simple, Dave. They come from a higher status family than I do, so they got
Yes.
more money.
Yes. You come from a low-rank farmer. Yes.
I bet. You've seen the quality of people though. They don't even let me stay over when I'm in town. Like, just because they've got money doesn't make them great people.
What, your family?
Yeah.
Your pallet's already being used by one of your younger brothers. They don't have space.
No, you should burn the family home down. It'd be good, that would.
Okay, I don't think I'll be doing that.
As
Okay.
characters, you will realise that I do not talk about my family because I don't like them, and I'd like to see them dead.
Oh.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Especially my father, because he's a bastard.
Literally, or just use it call him?
Right, he might be a bastard literally, but his attitude, and basically, when I'm ready, I should probably go over there and beat his head in.
Respect for your parents is one of the foundations of both Buddhism and Taoism.
Yes, it might be, but they have to respect you too, and he doesn't respect me.
Okay.
You might want to tone down your anger and not your two, Kinzo.
If I was to tone it down any more, I'd be dead. Okay.
All right. So, as far as your week on the docks, Kinzo, you're actually employed every day. It's amazing. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days where, unfortunately, it's just general employment. So that would be 3 copper. So that's 15 for that. And 5 days where you're employed by Wanshu at the old rate of 4 copper, because it doesn't actually need you to act as a bodyguard, it's just carrying stuff. Okay, so that's a total of 35 copper, but if you knock off 10 copper for food, 25 copper profit.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I believe I'm gonna have to leave you all here, but thank you for the day.
Okay. Fair enough. We will assume you embark the rest of these scallywags.
I will.
Okay, see you next week then.
See you
Have a
next
good
week.
time.
See you.
Yeah.
See you.
Cheers.
Right. So I'm just updating the record with what actually happens, which is a bit more awkward than usual because I've got the events. Righty ho.
And really, there's 4 of us, aren't there?
There are 4 of you. Yes. Okay. And your job on the last is loading up Wanshu's ship with goods, ready to travel up the coast.
Are any spears in this group, in this luggage?
No, he's sending cargo north, which is just for, if you like, he's sending the ship north anyway, but he's going to send stuff up there to help pay for the voyage, if you like.
So,
Okay.
there's 2 silver for everybody from the loot.
Excellent.
Some of the loot.
Excellent.
And where are we? We've got these Yari from the Bakimono. Is Wanshu interested in those?
What? Why didn't you say? Well, you'd have to get somebody to have a look at. Worth
Of
having.
course.
Bakemono are goblins and they're rubbish. You know, they don't look after their kids at all.
So I just thought you might be interested since you were looking for spears.
Well, he'll take him along to the armourer and actually, do any of you know anything about armoury?
Excuse me, Wanshu, but you'll have to get them from the armory in Azuka, because that's where they are.
Are they? Ah, okay.
Well, we've not picked them up, you see, because I didn't want to go in there and risk the wrath of the samurai.
Okay. Okay. But they are available if Wanshu's interested.
Okay. He will check and see whether he can get hold of them. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Well, he'll look into that while you're off on your voyage. Okay, this is actually happening a little bit faster than I thought. I didn't actually expect you to get out of Miyazaki. You did. So there will be a brief break while I add another map to the Roll20.
No problem.
So
Okay, in that case, I should go
if-
make a coffee.
in that case, if people wish to go and make a coffee, I shall just generate the map and then transfer it across.
Nice one. I'll make a note of the time so it's easier to edit it later.
Okay. So you travel 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 8. So that's 3 of those, and then you're up to 10. So that is 3 8s followed by 6, so that's 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, your first day passes, and you sail east across the bay, and then you follow the coast around, and then the southerly pushes you up along the coast, and you stop for the night just moored off the coast there. Okay. The captain is pleased you've had a good day's sailing. And we'll just have to see what the weather's doing tomorrow. It's only been a gentle breeze, it's not been high winds. Okay. The cloud built up during the day, unfortunately. And at dawn the following day, it's mostly overcast and the wind is from the east. So basically you're sailing into the wind for most of the day, so that halves your speed. So you're only going to make 5 hexes today. So I will just sketch that out. So 1, 2, 3, 5. So there's not that much on the coast around here. So again, you anchor offshore. And the clouds clear overnight, and you have a day of just light air, which is good. So again, you're making a decent amount of speed, and the sea is relatively calm. And nothing else untoward happens today. So you can move another 5 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you actually make it around the coast. You take advantage of the east wind and you are moored there. So that's your 3rd day of sailing. Unfortunately, the following day, it's still an easterly wind. So the captain will just do the best he can, but he's still not making much more than half speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can actually make 6. So first of all, does anything untoward happen today? Nope. Well, it's an exceptionally good day. Everything goes right on the ship, so I'll give you 7 movement for that. So that's... So given the way the winds have been against you, the captain is actually pleased that you've got this far. So you're moored up on the coast there. He'll tell you that this part of North High is pretty much unpopulated. It's far from the Saikaido. The ground's not good. So there's very little inhabitation here. So he would not advise going ashore. Didn't say it's unpopulated. There's not much habitation. Okay.
Who else is curious?
Overnight, things get worse. The wind starts to rise, and there is a high wind from the east. And the captain reckons that rather than being on a lee shore, he's going to go up the coast into the bay. There is actually shelter provided by the headland. So does anything happen today? No. So he's not going to travel very far today, but he is going to get the ship under some sort of protection. That's the problem with travelling. By ship, you are at the mercy of the weather. So there is actually a bay here, and there is a headland to the east. So he actually moors up underneath the headland, and the wind whistles overhead, it rattles the sails, but the ship is safe. Okay. Overnight, the wind dies down, but it switches and moves to the south, which, once he can get round the headland, will actually be helpful. So because he's sailing into the wind, so the first few he's going to be moving at half speed. So that's let's see, can he do it? 1, 2, 3 at half speed is equivalent to 6. That's at 2/3 speed. 7, 8, 9. He can get round the headland to there. So he's now going to be on an exposed coast, but he is going to be around the headland.
Around the 25th or the 26th date-wise now?
Sorry, this is the 25th.
Yep. Cool.
There's still dark storm clouds overhead, but it's just a gentle breeze, and there's a sprinkling of rain today. But there is a problem, and it's not a bad problem. Okay, he doesn't actually get as far today. He's going to lose 1, 2, 3 hours, so effectively he's only going to get to there today. Some of the ropes snapped up in the on the mast, and they have to temporarily anchor while they read new ropes in. So he doesn't actually travel as far today. Following day, the breeze is still from the south, which is actually good because it's in the rear of the ship and you can take full advantage of it. So that means he can go the full 10. So does anything happen today? Oh dear, again, how bad? Those ropes that they put up yesterday, they weren't new. They'd put them to one side for reuse, and unfortunately they've snapped again, so they lose another 3 hours. So he doesn't get a full day's travel today, so he only gets 7 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That will put him to there. So let me just draw that on. Okay, you do go past a fishing village on the coast, and they wave at each other, and the skipper calls out, "Do they need any supplies last week?" And there's apparently somewhere around there's pearl beds, and those villagers they find it worthwhile to live there and make their living from those pearl beds. Good pearls as well. If they were looking for something, we'd stop and try and trade for some. Okay. The next day is actually.
I was going to just quickly say, isn't it worth us that have any money stopping, buying some pearls, and then selling them back inland?
Well, if you'd hired this ship, my son, yes, says the captain. But I'm working for Wanshu at the moment.
Okay.
Right, the breeze has switched round to the southwest now. Today is 27 Fumizuki, and the breeze has switched round to the southwest, and it's quite fresh. So again, it's perfect because the ship is now sailing. Before I start, how are those ropes doing? No, they're fine. Nothing happens today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whoa, got a long way today. Okay, so again, you head into the bay and around to the west, to the east rather, and the captain tells you when you anchor that you're nearly at the headland. So again, a peaceful night is had. Unfortunately, overnight the breeze switches round to the west again, which is going to make life a little more difficult getting round the headland, because you're going to be beating against it. So that's 1, 2 out of 10, and then you're beating into it. So that's 1/5. So that's 3, 4, 5. So you can only get to there today. Okay. Again, uninhabited headland, but you moor up there. And the captain reckons that all being well tomorrow, we should reach our destination. Which... let's check and see its name. It is the city of Asuki. And your ears prick up at that. You've heard that name. Asuki is one of the big cities. Like Nobeoka, it is also a club. But it's the best you've got in this province. So, dawn breaks the following day. The weather is still good, actually. And it's a southwesterly, so it's on your beam. It's a high wind, but it's good. It's blowing off the land, so the sea isn't too choppy. So you make it all the way to Asuki. So I will just draw that out. In actual fact, I will draw the whole city on. There we go. And you can tell this is a much more populated area. So you pull into the docks of Asuki. The captain will give you chapter and verse on what you're going by, if you're interested. There's 2 fishing villages on the south of the peninsula, Jusho and Chushin, both fishing villages, and Jusho also does crops. The road to Enlightenment Temple is on the promontory, and then Asuki itself is in the bay. And you pull into the bay and moor up, and it's still only afternoon. So Uncle's apprentice suggests it might be an idea to go and, if he takes Wonshu's letter to the armourer.
Yeah, we'll go with him.
Autumn.
He says he says quite. Uncle did ask me to ask you to be gentle with anybody who gets in our way, please. Trying not to have trouble.
Yes. Well, we don't go looking for trouble. But it's a habit of finding us.
He looks a bit nonplussed at this. Not sure he's in good company at the moment. Okay, you venture into the city. He doesn't know the way, so he pays one of the kids running around to guide him to such and such a person. Gives him a copper with the promise of 2 more when they get there, which means you are not led the roundabout way or astray. Okay, and you do indeed make it to the craftsman's area and to an obviously well-to-do armourer, weaponsmith rather, who the apprentice knocks politely at the door and is greeted by the apprentice. The 2 of them have a little chat, and Uncle's apprentice bows and presents Wonshu's letter, and it is duly taken into the shop. On his return, the shop boy invites the apprentice in. They talk for a couple of minutes, and he beckons you in as well. And you head into the workroom, and there are a number of people working there. And the craftsman in charge, the master, comes over, bows politely but only just to the apprentice, and says, I understand you are here for your master, your master's nephew, to attempt to purchase some goods. They exchange greetings, they discuss the matter. The master has to correct the apprentice that no, it is not the spearheads alone. Your master in the letter talks about complete spears. The apprentice is aghast that he made such a mistake, and he apologizes profusely. What a time to roll a 20.
That makes up for the one you rolled earlier.
Well, Uncle knows his stuff. His apprentice still got some way to go.
He's an idiot.
He's not used to dealing with such august personages. Anyway, things get back on track. And the craftsman agrees what you feel is excessive, because he's actually asking for a premium over standard rates, because it's a large order and it's going to leave a gap in his stock for his normal customers. Unfortunately, the apprentice is so overcome with embarrassment at his failings that he agrees the higher rate. Bags change hands, and you are led into the back room and shown a rack of 30 spears.
30.
Can I have wit saving throws from you all?
Nope.
And one for Ichijō? I mean, that's even less likely.
Somebody do Ichijō.
I'll get it.
Somebody roll for Ichijō.
No.
Okay, I'm just going to check
We've
something.
got
I'm just going to check something else on your skills. Nope. Just seeing whether there's any particular relevant ones. Nope. Nope. Yes. Can I have a skill roll from Ichijō, please? This is in addition to the wit saving I'm giving him.
Somebody else get this one.
Oh,
13 day.
Okay. Right. That is all against that. And he has another skill which is also relevant, so I can have a skill roll on that. Ichijō just happens to have everything right for this, so
Okay,
another
that's
skill
fine.
roll for that.
Hey.
And that one works. Okay. On his armory skill, something's not right. He doesn't know what, but there's something not right. With his metalworking skill, those have been prepared for some time. They're not wrapped for transport, but those haven't just been made. Just looking at the heads, there are faint signs of corrosion from the sea air. You know, it's not bad corrosion, but he knows metal, and that hasn't been freshly made. They've been there for some time. And
Ask the apprentice is. Ask the apprentice, was he expecting to buy brand new spears or not?
Whatever spears are available.
Okay.
I mean, have those been used? Ichijō will confirm. As far as he can see, they look to be unused. You know, you can see the bindings, etc. There's no sign of wear or tear. But they've been in stock for some time, which commercially doesn't make sense, because you make to demand normally, because if you keep stuff in stock, it's risk of theft, it's also capital tied up, it's not good business. So there's something slightly fishy.
Is the apprentice happy with those?
Well, yes. Uncle asked him to buy as many for Ichijō good, and you know it's a perfectly rate that the armor has asked for, and 30 spears. Well, you know, he only needed another 10 spears to fulfill the original order. So 30 spears. Well, that
are we
more
paying
than
all 30?
yes. There was a request for another 25 from Nobeoka. They doubled the order.
Oh, okay.
So
A lot of spears.
it's a whole lot of spear. It's a whole lot
Sure
of
is.
money. I mean, Yari will set you back. How much is it? 1 gold, 6 silver.
Ooh, there's a lot of money's worth of carrying here.
Oh yes. So you need to get them safely to the boat, and then protect them for the journey back. Because you've got cargo worth about 45 gold.
How are we carrying 300 pounds weight?
We got 4 of us.
Zero.
And the apprentice, he can carry one. Just.
Yeah, well, what's the maximum weight we can shift?
Well, you don't need to worry too much about moving fast. So the maximum you can carry is, I think, is it 6 or 8 times your maximum weight, maximum strength rather.
Just try oops. It'll let me carry 8. Still be only partially encumbered. Apparently I can carry 8 and still be partially encumbered.
So basically you can carry up, if you carry more than 6 times your strength, you're fully encumbered and you can't do anything except carry the weight. So you're probably best carrying no more than 6 times your strength.
And what's my strength? Permanent value or the temporary value?
It's your effective value.
Which is the current value. Yeah, 22. So 6 times 22.
Sorry, hang on a second. No, my apologies.
wrong.
That's your temporary value.
So it's the effective value.
Your temporary value was when you were charging. So
right, okay.
your normal strength is only 15.
15. 6 times 15, I can carry 50 and not be encumbered. Well, be partially encumbered.
Yeah, sorry, we could only carry. Well, I can only carry 30. Mistake on that. 40 mix.
Well, you can carry up to
mixed
90. Okay.
Okay, I'll
So makes me over encumbered.
Sorry, I must have been misreading it then.
Yes. 40 plus what else? Other stuff I'm carrying is making me over encumbered.
Oh, right, fine.
That's halving my speed and everything. So.
Yes.
But we haven't got too far to go. We're only going from this shop to the docks. It's not too bad.
Okay.
Right, I can carry 4 spears and be only partially encumbered, so that's what I shall do.
Right.
I'm carrying 5 and I'm still over encumbered.
Okay. Let me
4 is
do.
partial.
Can we take a load to the ship? And,
You can ferry it
Come back.
in sequence. Yes, not a problem.
Yes. Not going to manage it all in one go, are we? So.
Nope.
So let me just check.
It'll take us 2 trips, I think, Dave.
Yeah, I think so.
Ichijō. Oh dear, he can carry an awful lot. He can carry 8 spears and only be partially encumbered. Okay. So how many you can carry in one go? 1 for the apprentice. 8
8
for
Ichijō then.
Ichijō, so that's 9.
3 for the rest of us. 3 each for the rest of us, I think.
4 for
That'd be
me.
18.
No, well, I can carry 4 and still only be partially encumbered.
Yeah, same
4.
here. I can carry 4.
Okay, so that's 9, 17, 20. So basically you can carry 20 in one go.
20. Okay,
Yeah.
and then I suggest we send 2 people back for the others.
Okay.
Ichijō and somebody else for the other one.
Ichijō and me can get the rest.
Well, there'll be
Okay.
10. There'll be 10 left.
Yeah, Ichijō can carry 8
No,
and I can
no.
carry 4, so...
No, we send 3 of us because we can carry all 10 then.
All right, I'll stay with the ship then. After the first trip.
Okay.
Yeah. Be as well to leave somebody with the captain and the
Yeah.
crew. Okay. So you travel to the docks laden with the spears. Before you leave, can I have a wit saving throw from everybody? Because the apprentice didn't think of it.
I made it. 4 must make it, surely.
It does indeed.
That's good, so I made it then.
Right. Would it be worth you consider the problem this amount of value? Would it be worth wrapping them up so that they just looked like timber you were carrying or something?
Yeah,
or kind
probably,
of bow
yes.
staffs you were carrying.
Probably wrapping them up in bundles, yeah. So they're obvious what they are.
Okay. So that will be done. In which case, when you do your luck roll, it's not as bad as it was going to be. So, for your trip through the city, unfortunately, it is pretty obviously that you are all carrying something heavy to the docks. Can I have a luck roll for you, please?
Somebody want to make that?
What is a lot?
3d6, please.
3d6.
Try and avoid the ones. Oh! Whoa, 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 whoa!
Got
2
2
6s and a 1. Talk about extremes.
Well cancelled out, Tim.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's beginning to look like Kinzo's actually quite lucky.
Yes, it is,
Yes.
isn't it?
It is indeed.
Well, you left at a time when the watchman in the Street of Craftsmen was otherwise engaged. You were in fact spotted by somebody else, but he didn't tell anybody because he thought that the craftsman, the watchman had informed them. So basically, you were seen but not reported.
Good.
Okay.
Excellent.
Now, eventually they may find out when the guy who actually spotted you talks about it. But at the present moment, you made it to the docks without a problem. Okay.
Okay, so we'll...
The captain is
Store our-
surprised at the quantity of stuff that's arrived, but he's delighted to see it. He's got dock workers emptying the cargo holds of the stuff that Wonshu had sent up as trade. So is that it?
There's a bit more to come.
Right. Okay. Well, let's get those into the back of the hold over. Okay. Is he right? So he orders the dock workers to load up more stuff. He overloads them this time, and they all go staggering off, cursing him, etc. But they're moving a lot more slowly. So that gives you time to get the stuff on board and into the hold and covered up before they get back and notice what's going on.
Okay.
Okay. So you've
Want to
managed to
position
avoid.
myself.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to position myself where hopefully I can see what's going on the docks and keep an eye on our cargo.
Well, the cargo is concealed at the back of the hull.
Right.
If you want to keep an eye on the cargo, you'd have to be down in the. But you can helpfully hand stuff to the dock workers to carry out, sort of thing.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you will do that. The rest of you and the apprentice amble back to the armourer's shop. The other 10 have been packed up, and then you attempt to make your way to the docks without being noticed by the Watcher again. So, Kinzo, I believe you were the lucky one, weren't you?
That was last time, but I rolled it.
Yeah, he just jinxed it.
No, you're not noticed. So, you make it back to the docks with the other 10 spears, and the same tricks used with the dockers, and Uncle's apprentice talks to the warehouse manager, where all the stuff is being stored, and hands over the manifest and Wonshu's instructions, and then comes back to the ship. That's actually taken up most of the afternoon, so you'll spend the day in dock in Miyazaki.
Asuki.
Sorry, Utsuki. My apologies, Utsuki, and you can have a quiet night. The captain is pleased that everything's off and that all is well, and great.
Sorry, it's Asuki, A-S-U-K-I.
Utsuki, U-T-S-U-K-I.
Utsuki.
Let me just add it to the sheet. Utsuki. Righty-ho. So that was 29 Fumizu.
Is that not the 28th?
It was the 30th.
No,
They arrived the same day?
you sailed into Utsuki on a southwesterly, a high wind. You were blown up the coast. So you moored midday, and you spent the rest of the day unloading and loading the ship,
Yeah.
or rather loading the
They
ship.
arrived tomorrow.
So that's the
So
29th.
We're loading on the 29th, right?
Yeah. You reached Utsuki, you collected the spears, and you loaded up on the 29th.
Okay.
Okay.
And 30th, clear skies, a northwesterly breeze. The Kamiya with us. It's driving us south down the coast at a great rate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You actually round the point of the promontory. And the day passes peacefully. The following morning, unfortunately, the wind's backed to the south, so you can tack crosswind for half the day, but then you're beating into the wind, or tacking across the wind again, so you can't go anywhere near as fast. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can only get to there. But that's still pretty good. The following day is also peaceful in terms of things going wrong. And the wind swung to the west.
What's the name of the new month?
You have just entered into Shimoziki. Let me just double check that. Got a horrible feeling I spelt it wrong on my calendar. No, Tsuki Mizuki. Tsuki Mi Zuki. Tsuki Mizuki. And it is now the 3rd. Sorry, 2nd, my apologies. Sorry, you had 1, 2. The 3rd is tomorrow. So you have 2. This is the 3rd day sailing, which is, let's get this right. 2nd.
It's the second.
We left on the 30th.
Yes.
Yeah,
So your
we left
third
on the
day-
30th. So.
Correct. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Unfortunately, you're then tacking back into the wind. You can only get to there. And that day passed relatively peacefully. Thankfully, we haven't got into the gale. Fresh breeze from the south in the 3rd. So again, you're tacking. You're doing quite well for the first part. 1, 2, 3, 4, but then unfortunately 5, 6, at most 7. There. But the following day, does anything happen on the following day? Not at this point. You're too far from anywhere. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to there. He's chuffed at how well things are going. And then the following day, the wind turns against you. So it's a westerly, but it's only a fresh breeze, so it's not too bad. So you can only go half speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it turns southerly. So you can go a bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But something does happen. How bad is it? Not too bad. What was it? Right. You actually don't get quite so far because assist one of the fishing boats that's having problems with its nets. So you pull, heave to, you toss a rope across, get it attached to the nets, you help haul the net in, etc. Yeah, they've basically dredged up something they shouldn't. There's some rocks in the net that it got caught round, and the net's quite badly torn. So, unfortunately, you don't travel quite as far that day, but you do actually get a good meal out of it. So, what with one thing and another, it's probably for the best.
What about the other day's food? Were we supposed to be taking this from our sheets?
Oh no, you're being fed
We are
ship's
fed.
food.
Okay.
So it's the same crap that you normally eat, but it's cooked up and served up by the ship's cook.
Is this the 5th or the 6th?
Sorry, that was the 6th.
6th, okay.
And unfortunately, again, the 7th. Does anything happen on the 7th? No. But there's a westerly. 2, 3, 4, 5. If you sailed on into the night, you might make it to Nobeoka, but there are no old bold sailors. He's not sailing across the docks, across the bay at night.
Fair enough.
Okay. So that was the 7th, and on the 8th he sails across the bay and that passes peacefully. So you make it into Nobeoka on the 8th. Ooh. The captain is pleased that the voyage went so well. The apprentice is pleased the voyage went so well. You can't wait to get to one shoot place. Tell them how successful it was.
How much you paid.
Years. Okay.
Well, we're going to be there too to listen to and get chewed out, because that's what I think is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
How much did you pay?
Not only that, you bought second-hand goods.
Right. So you, the captain will uncover the spears for you, so you can pick up 20 of them, and he'll get a couple of dock workers to carry the other. Another 3 dock workers to carry the other 10.
Okay.
And you drag them along to one warehouse. And the apprentice is duly bounding with joy. We found so many spears, master, and a very, very reasonable rate. You paid how much? He is duly torn off a strip, etc., etc., etc. Can I have wit saving throws from everybody?
Shouldn't have given him so much money.
Yes, you can.
No.
They don't seem to be putting. In your opinion, Kyūryū, they're acting, and Ichijō backs you up on that. He thinks that they aren't sincere. They're telling him off, but they're not really tearing him off a strip.
Yeah, they're secretly happy with the deal.
Ichijō reckons there's probably a bit more to it. Should he point out to them that the spears are a little bit show a little bit of corrosion, not precisely freshly made? Or what do you think?
If he thinks he should. Is it our business though? We're just guards.
Well, that's why he's asking, the party lead.
What do you think, party
should he
leader?
point out this slight discrepancy?
I wouldn't bother.
Party leader?
Come on, Nick.
Yeah, that's Kosa.
Sorry, I got my microphone muted. I don't think we should tell them this. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think
the
we should.
merchant
Okay.
knows what he's doing.
Alright, just seems a bit odd to Ichijō.
It's not our business though.
Okay. Honestly, the Bushy spots something for the first time in his life. You tell him to shut up about it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Can't even.
He's
That's because we're
"Look,
so used to him
look,
not spotting
look."
anything, we think he's
You'd be
making
like,
it up.
yeah, this shit doesn't matter, man.
Actually,
Right.
Dave,
Yep.
I suggest you ask the doc when he's next playing if Ichijō would have said anything.
I think he'd probably be advised by you lot, because a lot of the stuff you're saying is.
It
keep-
might be, but give
It
him
might
the
be.
option.
Yeah, I'll give him the option. Yeah. Righty ho.
What I want to know is why do they need so many spears?
Interesting.
That's 50.
Um,
That's what, 45 spears now.
Well, you first of all get paid. So
Excellent.
let me just count out how many days that is.
17.
Oh, it's
I make it 18 actually, because you sailed on.
Oh, well, in 18. I accept the extra pay.
Yep.
You sailed on the 21st, and you reached Nobeoka on the 8th. Okay.
Yep.
Righty-ho. So that is 18 days, which is 90 copper each. He will actually give you 3 silver each.
Three
Right.
silver, that's better.
Uncle's aghast. Thinks he should deduct a copper each for for giving you it in silver. Hard to get hold of, you know. It doesn't grow on trees.
No, you dig it out the ground.
Yes. Well, let me reassure you, the apprentice did not pay for those spears in copper. Otherwise, you'd have had to take a separate trip to carry it from the ship.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to carry the spears, he'd be busy carrying his money.
Right. Well, in the last 2 weeks that you've been away, yes, there has been confirmation. Apparently, a large number of the spears in the daimyo's arm been conferred in the warehouse. The ones that are kept for war situations are confirmed to have been cheap. Basically they're replacing them with ordinary spears. So there are various merchants who've been tasked with doing it, but this covers what Wonshu's agreed to do. And now he's got to go and try and get the money out of the daimyo for it. So
Good luck with that.
well,
So, we brought in what, 45?
you brought in 11 from the south. He found 4 immediately. You found another 30 up north, so that's 45. And he's found another 5 by visiting the local the villages and pressuring an armourer to make a couple more.
What's he wanting with
So-
50 spears?
So that's 50 spears. His initial order was for 25 from the castle. He thinks it was they ordered it there so that it didn't look as though it was coming from the daimyo's Hatamoto in Nobeoka. But it's a bit of an open secret now that it's the armory in Nobeoka that's being rebuilt.
Has anybody paid the price for this yet?
The daimyo is actually paying up.
No, that's not what I meant.
Well, yes, he's one Hatamoto. Sorry, no, the Hatamoto is okay. The samurai who was put in charge of the purchasing, and the samurai who was in charge of that particular section of warehouses, they're looking into where the fault occurred, and they think it was the warehouse. So it's expected that particular samurai will be with them now. Now, Wonshu does mention that he has access to inferior quality spears, cheap, if you're interested.
Well, I think the only person who would be interested is Ichijō, and I think he's already got an inferior spear.
Yeah. We've got...
No, what he's got is a training spear.
He's got a wooden one, yeah. He's not got an actual Yari.
Well, we've got the ones the Bakimono had. If he wants one of those, but
Is that the
Oh,
same?
true. Yes,
Trade 'em.
true. Yes.
Is that
In
inferior
actual
as well?
fact, I'd forgotten Ichijō actually has armory. He would have checked those to see whether he figured out whether they were worth anything. So, would somebody care to make 2 armory rolls for the 2 spears to see whether or not he could correctly evaluate them?
You boys should do one each. I'm not being very lucky tonight. Oh,
I think the answer to that is no.
No, he hasn't the faintest idea. It's a sort of, the first one is a sort of spear he's never seen. It's obviously some sort, probably made by Oni or something. In which case, no self-respecting Bushi would use it in the first place.
we have 3 spears.
Well, perhaps we should take
Oh,
them
you've
down.
got 3. All right,
Yeah.
give him a roll for the 3rd one.
Well,
No,
I'll get this one then.
no, the Kosa rolled for the 3rd one.
Oh, did they?
And that was also a fail. So in that case,
Okay.
he couldn't figure out for the second 2. The first one, he's
Okay.
pretty sure it's not a usable spear. But
They're a bit rubbish. Fair enough.
Well, perhaps we should take them down to the a local armourer and sell them for scrap.
well, given that Wanshu before you left was you mentioned it to Wanshu, he did take them down to the local armourer, who checked them all, and the first one is an unusual spear, in that it is actually a good quality spear, which is why Ichijō's screw up. He's never seen one of these before. So you actually have a good quality spear and 2 average quality spears that are all fully usable.
Okay, we'll let Ichijō keep the good quality spear, and we'll get one shoe to sell the other 2 to the daimyo.
Okay.
So that'll be 52 you can sell.
Righty-ho. Well, he has a contract for 50, and if he offers any more, they'll just probably take them off him. So what he'll probably do is sell it to one of the other merchants, who will then sell it on to the daimyo.
Okay, well, we'll let you sort that out and you can give us the money later.
And they'll owe me a favour as
Yep.
well. So okay, but there will obviously be commission on top of that.
Yeah, we know.
No, you've done us a favour, one shoe, because we know that we've got a spear that's better than average, which
Yes.
should
so-
please Ichijō quite a lot.
Sure, we can get a good price for it.
No, I think it's more useful for Ichijō to have it. If he chooses
Yeah.
to sell it, then we'll get you to sell it and split the proceeds.
Okay. Of course, what you're going to do with it is a second question.
Well, he's going to need it when he goes into battle.
Well, yes. Okay, so
Well, I
it
don't know.
will-
Does he actually use a spear?
yes.
Does he actually use a spear?
Yeah.
Sorry, no,
Okay.
he doesn't. He's got Kengo Jutsu. Let me just double check that. I don't think he's got Sojutsu.
Sojutsu, is it?
He's going to want to.
No,
though,
he
isn't
does not have Sojutsu.
Well, it'll be a good reason for him to learn it then.
Yet, unfortunately, he has no freely improvable skills left.
That's not my problem.
Anyway, so let's put down Ichijō now has Yari.
A good one.
Good. quality.
Good Yari.
Which I believe is +1 to hit and damage.
Nice.
Am I correct?
That is correct.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I'll split the money for the other two between the three of us.
4 of us.
He's got a good spear out of it.
Yeah, he doesn't get a share of the sale in the other ones, he gets a spear.
You make a good point, and I'm outvoted 2 to 1.
It's probably worth more than all of the total of the 2 that we're selling.
The good, if you were to buy it, you'd have to pay about 5 times the price of a normal Yari.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is about 7.5 gold.
He's getting a good deal.
Okay. So the daimyo is buying the 2. How long is it before you are able to get the cash? Because negotiations, payment, etc. It's actually going to be almost 2 weeks before you'll get the cash back on those 2. But hey, so that would be, they're taken to somebody on 9, so on the 26th you'll get your cash for this. So I'll just enter that in the diary so we know. Okay. You have a pleasant evening. Everybody is pleased with how Wonshu's doing with his contracts. Uncle congratulates him. He's obviously taught him well. He's taught him all that Wonshu knows, but not everything that Uncle knows. So there's still lessons to come, nephew. The Wonshu gives as good as he gets from that point of view. Well, if everything you taught me was correct, Uncle, then I would agree with you. But sadly, 1 or 2 of your suggestions did fall through. Blah 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 blah. So, you have your evening meal with Saki, etc. Once you inquires as future plan.
Well, we're here for the next 2 weeks anyway.
Well, it is currently 8 Tsuki Mizuki. So, if you want to do any more training, you've got 2 days before the next training week starts.
Should we try and grab 2 days' work?
If he's got anything.
He does have a job on at the moment, so you can get a couple of days' work. You happy with that?
Hey, what did you say? You cut out 2 days' work? Sorry, doing what?
Yep.
He's got a couple of days' work. At the
Yeah,
end
I'll
of the
take
week.
the 2 days' work.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, you make a net 3 copper each day. So that will give you 6 copper each. And that's the start of another week. So do you wish to do training this week, or do you to do something else?
No, I want to go training.
Okay.
Always.
The weather's moderate. It's getting up into the
I think
just above 20 in the day, but it's cooler in the nights.
Yep.
Is the moving wave school doing some Atemiwaza?
Let's see what they have on training this next
What's
period.
on this week?
So this is the 2nd week of Tsukimizu. And let's see. The Buddhist temples are teaching Hatha Yoga, Kenji, and Hiragana. You can learn Hatha Yoga at one of the Shinto shrines as well. And Shinten and Butsudo are also out. The Flower of Hyuga School is teaching Bajutsu and Armory. Rice Harvest School, and sadly, they're only teaching Naginata Jutsu. Art of Go are teaching Go, School of Wood, Chinese Classics and Painting. The Moving Wave School are teaching Saite Jojutsu. And the Dawn of Time School, Hiragana and Musical Composition. Again, you can try and persuade people to teach other subjects in their classes, if there's nothing there
Shall we
to learn.
try and convince them, Kinzo, to teach it?
I'm up for some Atemiwaza as well. I'll chip in.
Shall we?
Throw silver.
Yeah.
So the three of us go together, shall we?
Let's go for it. Well, we've done this before at the Moving Wave, so hopefully that will be a bonus.
Yeah, and we could throw silver in each.
It's my regular training spot. So,
Okay. Moving Wave School. 1 second while I just move to that. Okay, so this is 2 Tsuki Mizuki.
do we want to sign up for 2 weeks? Guys, are you interested in 2
I'm
weeks?
happy to sign up for 2 weeks.
Okay. In that case,
Yes.
So, 3 people for 2 weeks.
Okay, well, Matsudaira, who's teaching Saite, is a master in Atemiwaza. Daiduji, who's teaching Jojutsu, isn't. But Matsudaira will be busy next week. However, you can then try and persuade Ogawa, who's teaching the following week, who's also a master in Atemiwaza. You can try and persuade him separately. So, first attempt is to try and persuade Matsudaira this week to teach you Atemiwaza. So that will be 5 plus 3 for the number of pupils, plus effect numbers on a status roll. So who's best in the Moving Waves?
Let me have a look.
Probably me. I've got status of 5.
6, I think.
6, okay.
Moving Wave 6 status.
Okay.
Okay. But what's your group status in that school?
Our group status there is 16.
Yeah, I'm 15.
Well, that's effectively what you use. So divide that by 5 to get your BCS. Okay.
So 3.
3.
So that will give you a BCS of 3. So roll your effect numbers on that, and then you get +8 plus any additional silver. So do you wish to add any additional silver before you roll?
I've done one.
Putting in a silver each.
So that'd be +11, and you're rolling against a BCS of 3. Congratulations, you've persuaded him to train you.
Good.
So the 3 of you have a week's training in Atemiwaza. And Atemiwaza, nobody's up to 88 yet, I presume. So the Torimono is still applicable.
What was the name of the teacher there for that one?
This is Matsudaira. Matsudaira. Okay. You will each gain 5 plus your learning rate at a cost of 5 silver. And if it's over 65, if it's over 60, halve it.
5 plus my learning rates, that's 3.5 then.
Okay.
Sorry, what was the formula again? I was doing
It's
money.
5 plus your learning rate, which for most of you is 2, halved because you're over 60.
So 3.5.
Yep. So that would put your Temiwaza up to 78.5. Kyūryū, because you went up to 75 last time.
Nice.
Okay. So that doesn't increase your BCS, I'm afraid.
Does
Kyūryū,
include my
but
BCS.
it does increase yours. So if your BCS went up, you get 0.1 to add to a physical,
Okay.
On status.
and you get 1 status in that school.
School. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you're building respectable status at the moment.
That's why I try to keep getting back to the same place.
Okay. So I think that covers it. Does Ichijō want to get training? Yes, I think he will. He will try to persuade them to let him train in Katana again, in Kenjutsu. And I think that's a fail. Yes, it is. Because he has only 1 state. Let's just double check. Ichijō, Rice Harvest, BCS of 2, so that's a -9, and he only had 6 to add to it. So, oh, failed. So he'll spend a week fishing on the docks. Okay. Do you wish to spend another week's training?
Yes, please. Continue it with a, maybe I have to get a different instructor.
Okay, you will have to try and persuade Ogawa to train you. You going to try again?
Okay.
Yeah.
Chuck a silver each in again?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so roll your status BCS. It's still 3, I think. So roll yours. It's 3, and you get +11 on the result. So that's -12 +11. I'm afraid Ogawa is too busy to teach.
Oh.
However, let's see, Kawahire. Unfortunately, Wadron Duji. Neither of the remaining teams are skilled enough to teach you.
Oh.
You know more than them.
What's Ogawa teaching this week then?
Gawa is teaching Jujutsu this week.
Oh. No.
Do you all wish to join the Jujutsu class?
That is handy to me.
No, I'm going to go to one of the shrines and learn some Shinten.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to. I think it was the Buddhist shrine we're teaching Hiragana, weren't they? Last week.
That was last week. This week, what is being taught is. Hang on a second. Let's get this right. It's 2, so this is 3. So that's week 24. Okay. The Temple of Dragon at Peace is teaching, obviously, Bushido. Also teaching Bojutsu, meditation, and Kanji, and Hatha Yoga. Having a busy week. So as far as that's concerned, Bojutsu, meditation twice, Kanji, Hatha Yoga, and obviously the abbot is teaching Sudo. The Harvest Blessings Shrine, Kanushi Shokudu, the senior priest, is teaching Shinten. So if you wish to learn Shinten, Kinzo, then the senior priest of the shrine.
Which shrine was that, Dave?
This is the Harvest Blessings Shrine.
Okie doke, hit me with the numbers.
Okie doke. Let me just check this. The status multiplier for the Harvest Blessings is also 0.4, similar to the Dragon Temple. It's also sponsored by the Daimyo. Okay? So let me just find the Harvest Blessing Shrine.
Okie dokie.
Harvest Blessing Shrine. Okay. So, skill to train. So this is Kanushi Shokudo. And just find.
Is he the head priest, Dave?
He is the senior priest at the shrine. So you gain
2 status, is that?
2 status rather than 1. Yes. So yes. Shinten is not bonus for you, is it? They do have a katakana teacher role available. Which is
Excellent.
great. Okay. And that will gain you 5 plus your learning rate. At no cost.
Oh, I like these priests.
Of course, if you wish to make a donation, they will receive it gratefully, but there is basically no cost. The temples and the shrine and the shrines teach Buddhism and Butsudo and Shinten at no cost. So it is actually one way to get a skill up, but it does use up a freely improvable skill slot. Okay.
Okie doke.
Okay. What did everybody else want to do?
Jiu-jitsu at the Moving Wave School.
Jiu-jitsu at the Moving Wave School from Master Ogawa. Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll do for me as well.
Righty-ho.
No, Ogawa was too busy. It was someone else, wasn't it?
No, it's Matsu Daira was too busy to teach you Temiwa.
Oh, yeah.
Ogawa is he was too busy. Sorry, he wasn't willing to teach you a Temiwaza, but he's already holding a class in Jujutsu. That was it.
I'll do Jiu-jitsu then. There's no
Okay.
bribe him.
Well, he is a master. He's not 6th level, but it is bonus, and he does have a Torimono, so therefore you each gain 5 plus your learning rate, halved if you're already over 60. So that's 7 halved if you're already over 60 for both of you, I think.
So that's another 0.1, isn't it? Increase.
If your
Well,
PCS has gone up,
2 weeks.
well, you had 0.1 for the first week, 0.1 for the second week, so you should have gone up 0.2.
In a physical stat, right?
In a physical stat, yes.
And that's another point of status, isn't it, with that school?
Does that include health?
Another point of status, yes.
Is health a physical stat? Is it the first four?
Health is a
What's
physical
the
stat.
damage?
The first 4 are your physical stats. The last 2 are your mental stats. It costs you 5 silver for that.
Take 0.2 in speed.
Okay.
5 silver.
Speedy Gonzalez coming
Okay, so I'll need to get change off a gold then.
Yep.
up. Okay. It will cost you 1 silver per gold you're changing. No, you can actually take a gold into the school and they will give you change.
Okay. And it was
I'm going to say that's a bit of
it
a...
was 2 weeks at the Moving Wave School, so is that 2 earned status? Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Looking good.
And you also have the money from the spears. Okay.
Much is that?
Now,
How much money is that adding for the spears?
you're not yet, because we're just working out how much it's going to be.
Oh, you rolling it?
Yes. Well, Wanshu will tell you he's been to bat for you, and he's managed to point out to the other merchant that because he's actually helping him fulfill his contract quicker, it's actually a benefit to him to get these 2 extra spears, so he's not charging a commission on selling them. Okay?
Thank you.
Wanshu will deduct silver from the entire transaction for each spear, if that's okay, because he had to spend his time, his contact,
Okay.
blah blah blah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you will get the full price of 2 spears less 2 silver, which from memory means you get 2 gold and 10 silver. Is that correct?
I have no idea.
Equipment price list. Yari in this town is normally 1 gold 6 silver. You will get actually no, sorry, these are second hand. No, they're selling. On that roll he actually persuaded him that they were, so he's had them cleaned up. So you will actually get 1 gold and 5 silver each. So that's for each spear. So that's 2 gold and 10 silver. If you want, he can give it to you all in silver.
Yes, please.
So that would be 2 gold is 24, plus 10 silver is 34 silver.
Okay, so 11 silver each, and we'll put the other one in the pot.
We should do this more often.
Yeah.
What? Go and beat up Aruburu Kami and their servants?
Yeah, go on. No, just beat up the Bakemono. Keep the Aruburu, we'll just beat up the Bakemono.
Most Bakemono aren't armed with spears. They just use clubs.
Why don't we sell them the spears? And
So you're going to try and get Wanshu to start an illicit trade selling weapons to the monsters.
No.
Personally, I think that's probably a bad move.
Well,
I also think that personally this is probably a good time to stop this session, as it's 20 past 11.
Yeah.
And it will stop it on a high note, with you having earned probably more money than you've seen for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, it pays for the training. Paid for the 2 weeks training, roughly.
Okay.
Thank you, gents. Thank you, Dave. Another good session.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, gents. It was another good one.